Hi, and welcome to Card Shop with Sari. I'm actually Julie with the Argenta Branch Library, and we're part of the Lehman Library System in North Little Rock, Arkansas. And this is another episode of Card Shop with Sari. And I'll introduce Sari, and she'll come over in just a few minutes and teach all the methods. So here in Arkansas, we're getting ready for spring. It's coming a little bit slow, but it's on its way. But for this card shop, we're going to jump ahead to summer. We're going to teach you a couple different things today for a little summertime gift. The theme is Life's a Beach. This would make a great gift to give somebody, maybe a little thank you gift if you travel and you go to the beach and you need to leave little thank you notes or little tokens along the way. That's just another great little gift. So the tools that you're going to get for this month's kit is you're going to get your very own cutting mat. It's a nice sturdy cutting mat. You're also going to get a set of tweezers. You've got a slanted set and a pointed set. And Sari's going to show you today and in the upcoming classes how to use these. Because it is a beach theme, we are going to make a little bookmark. We've used these bookmark sleeves before. This one has little sequins and sand and a sand dollar and a little shell. You're going to make two different cards. She's going to teach a couple different techniques about putting some of these cards together. And you're going to make a box. And inside the box is a seashell and some little chocolates. So you'll have a little bag of chocolates again this month. Don't eat them, save them for your treat. You'll have a bag of shreds to use. You will also get a new glue stick. You'll be using that quite a bit. You'll have a little bag of sand and your seashell, and then a packet of all the paper that you need, the cardstock, the little sequins, and some other little the die cuts and things. They'll all be in your packet. And remember that we're still doing curbside at the Argenta Branch Library and at the Lehman Library, but you can call the number that'll be listed below, and you can reserve your kit and then set up an appointment time to come pick up your kit. It is one per person while supplies last. But I hope you enjoy this class. This is Life's a Beach. And I'm ready for some sand between my toes and to sit by the pool and read. So enjoy Life's a Beach. Thanks so much.
Hi, and welcome to our March class, Life's a Beach. I hope you all survived our snowstorm in February. It seemed like a good time for us to begin thinking about some warmer weather. So we designed this really fun class. You're going to have a sheet in your kit that has some cutouts. These are items you're going to cut out, and down here is some items you're going to color. And I'll talk about those when we get to the actual project. Our main focus today is we're going to be doing a napkin transfer. And so you're going to have a napkin in your kit, and we're going to turn it into this beautiful card here. It's also a dimensional card, which I'll show you when we get to the close-ups. But you're going to have a napkin. Please don't use it for your lunch. This is for your craft project. You're also going to have some really pretty glitter die cuts, and they're going to be embellishments on this particular card here. The background is a piece that you will color. If you have colored pencils, that's great. Markers, crayons, whatever you would like to use. On your printed sheet, there are 3 cutouts. So if you don't like the first one, you have 2 more options of adjusting your colors until it makes you happy. If you're happy with your first one, you have 2 more, and you can make additional cards. As Julie said, we've already used these bookmark sleeves. This time we're going to be adding some sand inside, a sand dollar, and some sequins, and then a really pretty sticker up here on top. Now, in your previous kits, you have received this glue. This is the glue we're going to use to close the top of this bookmark so none of the sand comes out. We're also going to be using our glue stick that you're getting in the kit. It's purple and it dries clear. The purple is going to help us with what we're doing. So if you have a glue stick at home and you didn't get a kit, if you have a purple one, that will be very good. Let me speak to those of you who are not getting a kit. This is a technique that you can do with any napkins that you have. and I'm going to show you a really important factor in using a napkin transfer. You have to take your napkins apart. They come in multiple layers. You have to take it apart to one layer. I'm also going to show you, we had gotten these knives, these utility knives, in a previous kit, and I'm going to show you how you snap off the blade when it gets dull to expose a brand new fresh blade. So you actually have multiple blades on this knife, plus you had an extra full long blade that was included in your kit inside one of the bookmark sleeves. So I hope you did not throw that away. When you look in your kit and you have this little item here, it's going to form a nice square box, which is this box here. We've put some coins, chocolate coins in it, and seashell. Excellent gift. Again, if you're working from home and you don't have the kits, you might be able to find a box of another shape. This just happens to come into a cube. But use these techniques, look around for what you have at home or what you can easily locate, and just use your imagination and you'll come up with some beautiful projects. Hopefully they will be themed for beach life. So let's get started. Thanks for joining us today too. All right, here is the first card that we're going to do today. It's very simple. You will have a sheet that gives you 3 different options, and you will have a border around here that you can cut out. I would suggest cutting inside the border. If you get a little bit of this line when you're cutting and you don't want it there, you should be able to take an emery board and just scratch the edge, and you'll be able to clean that off. Some people call it erasing with sandpaper. You will also have some different glitter die cuts that are in a packet in your kit, and just arrange those on here however you'd like. But your job is to color this to your satisfaction and then do whatever you want with the die cuts. It is such a simple card, and that's it. That's your first project. Now, on the same sheet as these items to color, you have all of these beautiful squares here. They are going to go on the box you'll be making, which is going to start from this template, and we'll talk about this in just a minute. But right now, I want to show you that this white one in the corner, this one's not so bad. You'll be able to cut this out okay. But if you're having trouble seeing it, just take another piece of cardstock that's in your kit, lay it down here, and just draw a light pencil line so you can see where this is. And then draw the other corner too. And if you're using pencil, if you don't cut it all the way out, you will be able to erase it, no problem. But that makes it a lot easier to find where that white edge is when you go to cut it. Otherwise, they all just cut out very easily. You're going to take this and just pre-fold all of your scored lines. The dotted lines are where you fold. Okay, this one didn't cut all the way. I should have had my scissors handy, but I didn't. Okay, this is just for a demo. So fold all the lines. And I suggest practice putting this together so that it makes sense and you can see what it is you're doing. There we go. Now, there's going to be my top. So I put it all together. There's the bottom. Now there's one spot you're going to need to glue. It's where these sides come together right here. So you have a little flat. You'll put your glue on there. It's fine to use your glue stick, or if you want to use the this beacon glue that we gave out in the kit before, then just a little bit of glue right along there. Line it all up, and then you'll adhere that. Now I'm showing you how to glue it, but what you need to do before you've glued this together is, while it's flat and you know here's your top, here's your bottom, you want to come back and glue your cutouts on here. So each one will fit into a square. You arrange this however you want. Now I would do all 4 of my sides, glue them in place, and then one's going to be the top. So you'll have the top over here and the bottom here. You might not want to put anything on the bottom, but on the top, remember to turn it the correct direction so that when you open your box, it's right side up. Dump those off. It would be like this when you've got your box all put together. This is your top flap, and it would open that way. So just make sure that you're thinking about your placement before you put the glue on, because it'll be really hard to fix it if you've already glued it. And I'm sorry, that wasn't a very good explanation, but I think you get the concept. And if you just dry fit everything first, it'll be fine. If you have it backwards, then it would look like that when you open it up. So just make sure everything is turned right side up for yourself. And then fill it with your little goodies. Some of you may have remembered from our earlier bookmark class that we did, this plastic sleeve. Well, this time we're going to use it as a little bit of a shaker item. So in your kits, you will have the sleeve, you will have a bag of sand, you will have some iridescent sequins, and you will have a sand dollar. Now for this, oh, and I'm sorry, this very cute scallop sticker. As you can see, the one inside here, all of these middle pieces are taken out. So if yours doesn't have the middle pieces taken out, just get a pair of the tweezers that you were given and pull all of these out. It's much better to do with tweezers than by hand. As you can see, it kind of wants to tear a little bit. All right, so all you're going to have to do is dump these things into the plastic. Right here you have a little hole. Please remove the plastic that's in there, because when you close this, you're going to put your sticker, you have a sticker right here, your little scallop sticker is going to go sticking here. If you've not removed that plastic, it will fall off after you've stuck this down, and then your sticker is going to fall off with it. So please be sure to remove the little hole that's right there. The glue that you will use on this particular project, I had really good luck by using this glue right here. And after everything was in there, I tapped it all down. I put my glue all along here and even a little bit up on the edge. I folded it over, and then I took some clothespins or paper clips. I clamped mine shut for a while. This takes a little bit of time to dry, but it worked great. And you can see here that you cannot see my glue through the plastic, and it's held very well. I also put a little bit of glue on the back part of my sticker, right here on this little tiny dot. It is already sticky, but I added a little drop of glue just to make it extra secure. And then I set this off overnight before I did anything with it. I didn't want my sand coming out. All right, here is our napkin transfer card, and I'm hoping that you can see this on camera. It is very dimensional, and that is because we have put the napkin on here twice. So the pieces from your kit that you're going to need will be the blue card, your napkin, your glue stick, and both of these pieces of white paper. And I'm going to explain how they're used, and they're very specific, especially this one right here. This is going to be very important. The smaller of those two pieces fits right on this card. And you're going to need that. I think you can see right here where it's going to go. So after your napkin is on there, it's going to become the front of your card. So it's very important that you use the smaller piece, and I'll explain why we're going to do this twice. So set aside your big one, and your smaller one goes with your card. Now, open up your napkin, and I found this was the easiest thing to do. I cut my napkin into 4 pieces before I started anything. Now you might be tempted to take your layers apart before you've cut. That's not necessarily the easiest way to do this. And I'm going to show you why. Oh, I don't know if the camera will pick this up. There's bumps all along the edges of your napkin, and that is actually what is holding the layers together. And so if you cut them apart, you then have an area that is not crimped. Okay, this is we're super lucky right here. This just gave us all 3 layers opened up. Very, very gently pull this apart. I got a little overzealous on one of mine, and I ripped the whole bottom. Okay, so especially when you get to the bottom here, be careful. That mine's ripping again. It's okay, you have 4 different panels to work with. So see how I turned mine around and it started working just fine. So if it gets hard to tear, if it gets hard to separate, just turn it. I'm going to show you one other thing. One of your pieces will have the copyright down here. Please do not use that piece on your small item. You're going to stick 2 pieces of napkin down, one to this card, one to this card. It's okay to use the one with the copyright on this card. It is not okay to use the one with the copyright on the small card. If you do, when that is on the front of your card, your beautiful finished card, you're going to have the copyright right down here. If that happens, I'm sure you'll find a wonderful way to cover that up with an embellishment. But we'd rather not have it happen. Now, I showed you how that came apart, the napkin layers came apart very easily. That doesn't always happen. So here's what I do. I take my glue stick, I put it on my fingers, and then when I go to the napkin, it wants to stick to my fingers. So there I have 1, 2, 3. And it's because I have glue stick on my fingers and they're a little bit sticky now. So that's your trick of the day. And again, I'm just peeling it off. If it gets resistant at any point, I will turn it another direction and try and pull it from a different angle and see if it'll get happy. There you go. Okay, we have 1 and 2. You're going to need 2 of these. Here's what happens when you are not careful separating your napkin. I tore mine here and I tore it over here, and that one's not going to be very usable for me, so be careful. Now I explained that we're going to put this napkin onto the cardstock twice, and I'm hoping you can see down in here, this is one, and the second one has been cut out. We're actually going to start with the one that is cut out. It's going to be easier to do because you don't have to align everything so carefully. The one you're going to cut out is your big piece of cardstock that you were given in this kit. Take one of your layers. Now again, if you have to use one that has the copyright on it, now's the time to do it. So see where this is going to fit on here. And you're going to use your glue stick for this. And you're going to use a lot of glue stick. The one thing you don't want to do is don't leave clumps. The clumps will eventually dry, but it might not be until tomorrow. Now you take your napkin, eyeball it. I do not have enough glue on here. It needs to go edge to edge of the napkin. Every part of that napkin needs to be completely stuck to your cardstock. Make sure I have it. I think I'm okay. All right. Starting from the center. And very gently rubbing out to the edges. Okay. Now, those little bumps that we had on the edge are going to smooth right out when we're pasting this down. It's kind of fascinating. I know you can't see the bumps on camera, but they're all disappearing. Again, go from the center to the outside edge. And this is the part we're going to cut. We're going to cut out all of these signs. So everything around the signs you need to have very, very well secured. Don't worry so much about the edges on this one. I'm going to tell you the exact opposite on your other piece. You have this tool in one of your other kits. You can very gently use this as long as you have smoothed the bottom. If it has any sharp point on it, you might tear your napkin. Very gently. Go here and make sure to go all the way down to the bottom right there where that signpost is. We are going to use that all the way to the bottom. And then set that aside to dry completely. Now on your smaller piece, you see the difference here? The napkin is going to be a little bit bigger than this smaller piece. You want to make sure the bottom is going to be stuck right at the bottom. This is where you have to align it a little bit when you glue it down. So that's why we did the first one as practice. This one we have to align it. We also will cover this piece of paper, this is your smaller one, edge to edge. And set it aside to dry. After your small piece has dried, come back with your scissors and just trim off the excess napkin. Now this piece, you're going to glue right on your card. And you can do that either with your glue stick or the other adhesive, the beacon adhesive, doesn't matter which. Start over here along your folded edge. If anything sticks over, like mine does right here, I have a little bit that sticks over on the edge. It's easier to trim it off of this side. So you'll just come with your scissors and trim that off. The problem happens if you go along the fold and try and trim. It's way too easy to accidentally cut the fold, and I've done that before. And then you've basically ruined your card. So line up the fold, and anything that's extra, cut off on this side. Okay, on your larger one, after it's dry, you're going to come back here and you're going to start cutting out the signs. When you're cutting something detailed, it's easier to turn your paper, your image, than it is to turn your scissors. And every chance you get, cut away the excess. You have a utility knife that we gave you in a different kit. I'm going to show you, get that out of the way, how to get a new blade. Not sure if you can see this on camera, but right here is a score mark. And there's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of lines. So these are all individual blades. Take a pair of pliers, get it pretty close to where that score line is, and I snap to get a new blade. You would just come along here instead of using your scissors. Please get your fingers out of the way, of course. And because this is straight line, it works great. So you can also cut it out this way. After you have this all cut out, you will put these on the back side. You can stick them this way. You can cut them. For some of these smaller pieces, you might want to cut these. And come here. Get it all on there. And then you're going to stick this right on top of the other image, and it'll raise it up, and then it's going to be three-dimensional like this. And it really is neat. I wish you could feel this. Well, you'll feel yours when it's all done, but it is really, really fun. Now, one thing I did not say, I'm not sure you can see this on camera. I have taken my colored pencils and I've gone over this before I glued it down. I had already cut it out, and I took my colored pencils and I just made it a little bit darker before I glued it. It's not going to be something you can do after you've glued it because it won't be sturdy enough. But you can, like my word south here was really pale, and so I just darkened it a little bit. Same with some of my other words. And that's all there is to that card. It sounds a little complicated, but it's a very simple process. You can do this with all kinds of napkins. Florals would be really, really beautiful. So I look forward to seeing your creations. I hope you have a great time, and we will see you back here next month. Thanks again to Julie and the Argenta Library, and thank you for all of you who are watching.